All right, welcome back everybody to our weekly chat here at the LAFC Performance Center. This is In Touch with Steve Cherundolo. I, of course, am Vince LaRosa. That's Steve Cherundolo. There's no way they were going to mix that up. Right?
No.
Yeah. Steve, this week, the fun questions, the theme is going to be road trips because you're going to Inter Miami. You're going to play your first away game as the LAFC head coach. But before we get into that, I do want to touch on Portland quickly. But what are some of the principles that, after watching that match, you'd like to see a little bit more of in your chance creation?
We do a good job of getting ourselves into situations where we can enter their box, which ultimately is how you score goals in this game. There are very few goals scored outside the box, a very small percentage. After reviewing that game, a credit to Portland, they defended very well and very disciplined. But our final play in the final third of getting the ball into the box on the ground, coupled with the fact that we're not finishing our runs in the box, so they're not maybe coordinated or organized, those are the details that we're still kind of ironing out.
And I can't hesitate on the gas, and I'm here to win.
When you get a team that maybe is getting frustrated, what's the message? Because you don't want to get into that kind of crossing, lumping it forward. What is the message to tell guys to keep at it, keep with the principles?
Look, we have a set of tools, maybe a set of weapons we can use to break down the opponent. And if we're working outside of our tool set, then it's not smart. And I think that is the message to the guys. Trust the process, trust our own abilities, because they work. And they are all here for a reason and not in a different club. And that is the next step in our journey of scoring more goals than the opponent.
Rodriguez, good skill, goes across, it's a leveler. Right at the death, LAFC have got the goal, and it's Mamadou Fall.
I won't fold, I won't drop until we on top. I'm only going non-stop.
All right, so let's move on to the fun questions. Like I said, guys, we're going to do road trips. Steve, I'm going to start you off with some easy ones.
Good movie, by the way, Road Trip.
Great movie. We're going to do movies sooner or later
I
because
know.
movies are important for you. Are you a window or aisle seat guy?
Window for sure.
Okay. Why? You got
Because there's so much to see.
Okay. You do like take.
Yeah.
Are you a flyer? Good flyer?
Yes, extremely.
Okay.
extremely.
Good.
I love flying.
When you are doing something on the plane, are you a book guy or a movie guy?
Now, book guy.
What's the book you're bringing on the plane to Miami?
It's a book on the history of the U.S. men's national team.
I'm assuming that you are a big part of that book.
I hope not. I don't like to be in.
What's the one thing you have to have with you on a road trip?
Now it's definitely something for the kids. So like an uncharged iPad or a charger for an iPad would be detrimental.
You spend a lot of time in Europe, and travel in Europe is very different, as you said. When you fly in Germany, it's a lot of clouds. But when you travel here, you're almost always in planes. When you're traveling in Europe, bus, train, or airplane? What's the best way
Train.
to travel? Train.
Train is the best way to travel in Europe. It's efficient, it's comfortable, and probably the most bang for your buck.
Most underrated city in Europe?
Budapest or Prague? It's a tie between the two of them. Well, they're both history out the window. I mean, just history everywhere. They're both very beautiful. They both have lots of rivers and bridges, so it's very beautiful. And the people are very friendly and welcoming and open.
Most overrated city? There's a whole ocean between us, so you can be
Paris.
safe. Paris? Why? Just busy? Boring?
It's because it's Paris. It's a huge name, and it's busy, it's loud. But I think just the downtown and what the normal tourists would see, probably the most overrated.
We're going to stay with you traveling. It doesn't have to be in Europe, but you as a player. So road trips as a player. What was the road trip game of choice?
Played a lot of Texas Hold'em on the bus, train, airplane, what have you. Cards was our game of choice.
You win more than you lose, or what? Where were
Definitely,
you?
yeah. So this was when Texas Hold'em became popular. I had kind of introduced this game to the team in Germany because the guys didn't get it yet. So the first 6 months I was crushing it. It was awesome, yeah.
Anyone sneaky good playing cards? I know the national team gets really competitive playing games. Anyone on the U.S. national team that was sneaky good?
Yeah, I think Josh Wolf and Clint Mathis, those guys were sharks. You gotta watch out for those guys.
Road trip pranks. Is there any pranks that you either perpetrated or were perpetrated on you by a teammate?
Yeah.
Any you can share?
No.
They're that.
Yeah.
Why? Then if you can't share them, tell me why you may or may not be able to share them. Like, what are we talking about? This is personal injury. This is property damage. What are we talking about?
All of the above.
All of the above. You can keep it PG rated, but give me the best road trip story that comes to mind.
I remember one. Greg Berhalter was big on this one. Greg, forgive me. He did it to me a few times. He had a pretty good accent down, multiple accents, and he would call as like a journalist or a head coach of a team and say, I'm interested in you. And then you hear giggling in the background after a couple of minutes after speaking to him. And that was always entertaining. So Greg was always good for a laugh.
I think we're going to wrap it up on the Greg Berhalter story because not much higher we can go on the names of U.S. national team guys right now. So we do this every week. Thank you so much, Steve Cherundolo. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you.